How many pins should you be posting every day on Pinterest? One, five, maybe 25? If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by pinning frequency, then this video is going to break it down for you. By the end, you'll know exactly how often to post, what consistency really means on Pinterest, and how to build a strategy that actually works for you and for your business in 2025. Now, there's no fluff, there's no guesswork, just straight talk. That's from me, okay? Who's been doing this since Pinterest was in beta. I will make a plug here and there, but I'll never make you buy anything. Okay, let's do this. So I'm Lisa. Welcome to the Simple Site Lab here on YouTube. This is my very first YouTube video on Pinterest ever. Okay, I'm a certified personal trainer over at Body Mind Mood, and I'm the founder of Body Mind Mood. I'm a Pinterest pioneer in the Pinterest business community, so shout out to the PBC. And I've been on there for almost 5 years. I was invited in 2021, but of course, you know, I'm also a Squarespace Circle partner, gold partner, and I've been designing websites since 2013, so well over a decade. Now, I've been using Pinterest since beta, again, starting in 2021, and of course, I love it. I haven't left. No, I don't work for Pinterest, but I do spend a lot of time in the PBC helping other pinners and other small business owners grow. So I turned my Pinterest business, Body Mind Mood, into a 5-figure earning business, and for my fitness business. And really, now I'm kind of doing the same thing for the Simple Site Lab, because designing websites is another passion of mine that I'm engaging. And I'm actually using the very same strategy that I used with Body Mind Mood. And now my goal here, really bringing these videos to you, the podcast and so on, which I'll get into, is really to help you do the same thing. Okay. Now, I also host, as I said, the Pin and Plan podcast, Pinning with Purpose, where I usually deep dive into Pinterest strategies. And I'm here on YouTube every Thursday now to share the same kind of actionable tips and advice that you can use right away to grow your blog, your business, your brand on Pinterest. And Squarespace, of course. So let me jump into today's topic. Now, this is a question that I've gotten, I think, ever since I started, going to the PBC, before I was even a pioneer. And it's a question that still happens now, like literally today I responded. So the big question is, how many pins per day? What's the magic number? Well, let me break it down step by step. So let me just say, firstly, I belong to a lot of Facebook groups on Pinterest, and some of them know I'm a pioneer, some don't. I also, do some stuff on Reddit and all of that. And honestly, a lot of the advice that's floating around about Pinterest and how many pins to pin per day is old. So I'm going to address that first. People used to be told to pin 20, 30, maybe even 50 pins a day, which I can't even imagine doing that. And I don't even think, if I think back to my time on Pinterest, as I said, since beta, I've never done that. I never did that. Okay, like ever. And guess what? Some of that, back in the day, that did work, right? But you have to also remember that Pinterest was pushing a lot of massive content, uploading, right? Get as much as possible out there in order to fill the platform, right? It's not a bad thing. It's just that, that's what they were doing. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. It's not sustainable, 20, 30, 50 pins a day. I mean, no, I couldn't do that. And to my mind, it's not necessary, especially the way things are now. Now, if you've tried posting that much, because some people are following that advice, even if it's like really old, and you're burning out, you're feeling really tired by it, well, it's not you. Okay, it's not you. It's the strategy that you're using. The strategy, of course, is old, 20, 30, 50 pins a day. That doesn't work. The algorithm has changed. It absolutely has changed. Consistency matters now way more than volume. Okay, and let me be really clear. The algorithm has jobs. It actually has functions. So the first thing is to trust you, learn you, right? Trust your content, trust your URL. It has to understand what you do, what kind of content you create, where to put you. It indexes you. It's like the third thing, right? It has to like index your content, index everything. And lastly, it learns patterns. So when I say that, think of a person who might drop 50 pins a day for 5 days and then dips. for 2 months, right? And let's say they do that all the time. Or maybe they're dropping 3 pins every other day and then take 2 weeks off, right? Think of it like that. That's the pattern that it's learning. Now in 2025, the sweet spot really is anywhere from 1 to 5 pins per day. And that's it. That's all you need. There is no need to push 20, 30, or 50 pins. Pinterest has made it abundantly clear, especially from what I've been able to see, that and just in the PBC, quality over quantity, right? It outperforms volume, right? The quality of the content that's being put out there. Steady stream of fresh, relevant content. You've heard this before. Fresh, relevant content will win out every time over blasting your audience with loads of pins, dozens of pins. So if you can post one really strong pin every single day, that's a lot better than dropping a huge number of pins in one day for a week and then disappearing. Okay. Now, let me pause here and say this. If you are feeling overwhelmed and if you're trying to follow that old advice of 20, 30, 50 pins a day, and you're feeling overwhelmed, I totally get it. I understand. But I would encourage you not to worry and not panic, because Pinterest is extremely flexible. Okay, when it comes to pinning, you can definitely create a workflow that works for you, your time, your business, your life, right? Because life happens, and this point sort of brings me right back to the consistency factor. Now, consistency on Pinterest, I would have to say, is kind of like its love language, if you can call it that, right? Pinterest, it's a love language when you talk about consistency. So if you're pinning once a day or 3 times a day, the algorithm rewards accounts that show up consistently, not that drop a lot of pins, a lot of volume. Okay, it rewards people that are consistent with the content that they're putting out. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, that you can't take a break. You can, but it does mean you'll see much better growth when your pins are showing up on a regular schedule, as opposed to just 50 pins and leaving. You will see growth, but it won't be the same kind of growth. Okay. And I don't know, I mean, I can't say for certain, but I don't think the algorithm will really reward that type of pinning schedule. So here's the truth. And I want you to know, I don't talk about my 5-figure income a lot because I've never felt the need to. Okay. I've never, ever felt the need to, but I did build it. My 5-figure income stream, basically from Pinterest. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Now, and I didn't do it by posting a gazillion pins every single day. But what I did do is I stayed consistent. I stayed strategic. Strategy being nothing like hardcore and intense, but strategy being consistent. And that, to my mind, that's part of why I'm doing this. That's really the formula that actually works. And I know people are probably sitting back going, well, that just sounds too easy, but it is easy. I think sometimes, strategy and so on, people make it a lot harder than it needs to be. So how do you build your posting plan? Well, you decide basically your pinning frequency. That's like key, right? So I'm going to share 3 points with you that you can use right away that will help you to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is pick a frequency, a number. So a number of what? Number of pins that you can actually stick to. Now, if that's 1 pin per day, great. If it's, if you can do more than 1 pin, like 3 pins a day, go for it. Don't hold back. Batch your pins. All right. I did an episode on the Pin and Plan podcast recently about that. Create them in batches, once a week, so you're not scrambling daily, and use the schedulers that come. There's a native scheduler in Pinterest. There's one in Adobe Express and Canva. I mean, you can't go wrong. Okay. And then lastly, stick with it for 90 days. Yes, I said 90 days because let's be real. Pinterest is a slow burn platform. And 90 days is really truly enough time to see results and understand what's working after you've implemented the strategy. Like if you implement a strategy, a pinning strategy, and from a consistency standpoint, and then you break it before that 90 days, you may not get the information that you really need to get and that will really help you. Now, remember, don't overthink the exact number because, again, you want to be focusing on consistency and quality of content. That really does matter now. And I think, to be fair, it matters for all social media. Pinterest is a visual search engine. That's how it sees itself. And I believe that it's like a big magazine. That's what I call it. But I think all platforms really want the quality, right? Now, so now you know how often to pin, but what about what to pin and, how to make sure your pins are actually getting clicks? Well, that's exactly what I'll be covering in upcoming videos here on the Simple Site Lab channel. So, check it out, right? Now, if you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. I'll be dropping every Thursday alongside of my podcast. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I'm just going to put a plug here. You don't have to buy, but I'm going to put a plug out here because I think it's valuable. I've got a masterclass running on Pinterest ads. Now, I know that there is a Pinterest event coming up very soon about marketing. And I actually created a Pinterest ad ladder that I use for myself. I know it works because I still see my pins out there. So thank you very much. Now, this is really running ads without wasting money on a very small budget because ad spend is really important to small business owners. There's no question about that. I wish I had $1,000 all the time to just throw down, but I don't. Now, I walk you through how to test ads. I walk you through the important data to keep focused on that really actually matters for you because Pinterest will give you a lot of data when you run ads, but there's only certain things that you really need to focus on, especially if you're a small business. And really, at the end of the day, you're going to learn how to target the right audience through the 3 steps that I offer and how to actually get Pinterest to pay you indirectly. Sound good? Yeah. So check it out. I will link it in the description below. I really appreciate you watching. And remember, Pinterest growth isn't about volume. It's about strategy. It's about consistency. So take that and go with it. Comments, thoughts, love to hear them, all positive, please. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye for now.